Leading up to Christmas, the majority of AFL players are back at their clubs. Out of all the 18 teams, a smaller group of players can use the pre-season to take the next step up or get back to form and help their team on the field. Here are some players from every club that with a big pre-season can take their game to a new level. Starting with the Crows, it's two of their big men in Darcy Fogarty and Riley Thilthorpe. Tex Walker just had a career year, but it's time for his understudies to take some of the pressure off. Fogarty has kicked 33 and 34 goals in back-to-back years. It's solid, but another off-season to get fitter can improve his total to 40. Thilthorpe had his best year last season, but coming into his fourth campaign, he can be an important third tall option and give valuable support in the ruck. Walker won't be around forever, so these two young guns need to improve once again. It's been 2 seasons since Cam Rayner suffered his ACL injury. He has kicked 47 goals combined in the last 2 years, but at 24, he's ready to add an explosive element to the Lions midfield. A 50-50 forward mid split could unlock a clearance beast like a Petrarca, but still give Rayner the time forward to kick a bag. If Rayner can improve to say 70% of a Petrarca or Martin, it will give the Lions more power in the midfield. Carlton have a strong squad, but the small forward position is still a little weak. They're all solid players, but Jesse Motlop can become the spark. He is physically stronger than when he first was drafted, and another pre-season of gaining fitness can set him up for a big third year. He kicked 24 goals in 21 games last year, so if he can get into the mid-30s and be more consistent, it complements Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay perfectly. With the departure of Taylor Adams and Scott Pendlebury another year older, Finlay McRae has his chance. He has played just 3 games in the last 2 seasons, but the 21-year-old can cement himself as a starting on-baller. He will need to add more strength and stay injury-free after a frustrating 2023 individually. The setup is there to emulate the ball-winning capability his brother has shown. The 2020 draft triplets of Nick Cox, Archie Perkins and Zach Reid are under the gun. Perkins has been the best so far, but he has stagnated since a big first year. Coming into season 4, the midfield should be his aspiration. Nick Cox finally reappeared last year after battling injury, but often looked devoid of confidence and a little overwhelmed. He needs to find a position to focus on and add size to his slender frame. Then there's Zach Reid. 8 games in 3 years, constantly fighting injury. A spot in defence is there, and hopefully this pre-season can allow him to get fully fit and at least play some senior games. It's time for Sean Darcy to become the number 1 ruck in the competition for Fremantle. His 2021 best and fairest year has been followed up by a solid 2022, but injury hit 2023. There's always some nagging injury with Darcy, and at 25 he needs to become durable. He has room to lose some weight to help ease the load on his body. He also kicked just 4 goals last year, so he should be able to work on his forward craft to give ruck time to Luke Jackson and keep the defence on their heels. If he can do this, his next contract, wherever it may be, will be huge. After missing the 2022 Premiership win, Max Holmes was set out to become one of the focal points in an ageing Cats midfield. He did average 3.4 disposals more, but only improved by 0.23 in his player rating. He will hope to have more centre bounces in 2024. If he can add more strength and stoppage skill to his speed and endurance, he might be Geelong's number 1 midfielder by season's end. It was a great back end to 2023 by Sam Flanders. After Jew's dismissal, his midfield minutes skyrocketed and he became a major ball winner. Under Damien Hardwick, Flanders should be the complement to Rao's inside grunt work while providing power out of the middle. The pre-season will help him gain more fitness and work on his overall disposal efficiency. The defensive side of his game will also be focused on under Hardwick. Finn Callaghan is only coming into his 3rd season, but has shown his special talent. The big-bodied wingman may be able to transition further as an on-baller if he can once again improve leading into next year. He has clean kicking and smooth movement, a perfect complement to Tom Green, and can allow Stephen Cornelio and Josh Kelly to play other roles. He began to attend higher centre bounces at the end of the year, and they should further grow in 2024. There's a few options at the Hawks, but half-forward Connor McDonald is the one. 41 games and 21 goals is a great first 2 years, but more improvement from him could be a game changer for Hawthorn. He could provide another midfield option and use his creativity in chains to link up play. If he is still situated as a forward, then working on his craft is important to improve upon the 12 goals he kicked last year. It will only be his third year, but Jacob van Rooyen is not just the future, he is the present. Melbourne's forward line is the weak point, and with no Melksham, van Rooyen has to step up. It's a big task for the 20-year-old, but someone needs to kick the goals. The D's will be hoping his 28 goals can move into the 40+ range. He will need to get more consistency in his game, and like other key forwards, adding more strength. Nick Larkey said Taran Thomas can be North Melbourne's best player. Can he finally put it together on and off the field in 2024? If he can become fully fit and invested in a pre-season, the sky's the limit. He's the perfect forward half weapon that can burst from contests and hit the scoreboard. It's all up to him. Port Adelaide showed faith, signing Mitch Georgiadis for 4 more years. He did his ACL in the SANFL and featured only twice at AFL level in 2023. We know he has the high marking and spectacular highlights ability in his game, but it's the goals that will be needed. Charlie Dixon and Jeremy Finlayson are another year older, so a partnership with Todd Marshall is in the making. He might start a little slow coming off the injury, but a 30-goal season which he achieved in 2021 should be in focus. It wasn't a great first year at the Tigers for Jacob Hopper. He had a calf issue along with other niggles that kept him out, and he never could find any rhythm. 16 games, averaging 21 disposals is okay, but not to the standard of his price tag. Discovering his burst and power from stoppage will go a long way to rebooting the Tigers' midfield. Matheus Filipo had a huge first year, and in 2024 his impact can grow. He has Bontempelli type qualities and is a guy who could be a top 5 St Kilda player next year. Gaining fitness and a little speed this pre-season can throw him into the Saints midfield mix. He has great size and overall ability, with his marking being used as an around the ground weapon too. It might elevate the Saints on ball group. He has big X factor. No More Buddy opens up the door for Logan McDonald. His 32 goals last year was a big step forward, and now he will be the focal point. The former number 4 pick is coming into his 4th season and has the chance to step up. In key forward terms, he is still young, but around 45 goals next year would be an impressive season. Like most young players, it's adding that little bit of strength and consistency that will help him become the number 1 man in Sydney. With a rebuild on the cards, West Coast senior players need to stand up. A hamstring bugged Liam Ryan all 2023 and he played just 3 games. At 27, he's now a forward line veteran who needs to deliver goals to steady the ship. To help Jack Darling and Oscar Allen at ground level is important to keep the Eagles in as many games as possible. Staying light and keeping his speed on the field while mentoring some of the younger players is a critical role Ryan has to fill this pre-season. The football unicorn Sam Darcy can step up this year. He has already added a little more size and hopefully it can keep him injury free. He's far too good for the VFL and can play at either end of the ground. His monumental size and skill makes him a weapon that is very unique. The pre-season should solidify his body, and it's up to the Dogs coaches to find a role for him to play. He can have a huge impact if he stays healthy.